Music Radar compiled a list of the top 12 singing drummers of all time. In 12th position, Sheila E. Sheila E. is a master of rhythm, but calling her merely a drummer undersells her brilliance. With Latin-infused percussive energy and a voice full of controlled swagger, she electrified stages alongside Prince and later carved out a successful solo career. Tracks like The Glamorous Life weren't just catchy, they were statements of artistic identity. Sheila's vocals matched her drumming in intensity, and she knew when to let them converge and when to let one take precedence. "You feel the rhythm before you hear it," she once said, and her performances were living proof of that truth.
That's what we all wanna love us.
11. Gil Moore, Triumph. Sharing vocal duties in a rock trio isn't easy, especially when your counterpart is as talented as Rick Emmett, but Gil Moore's gritty, impassioned voice set him apart. He wasn't the type to rely on vocal polish. His power came from raw conviction. Tracks like Lay It on the Line and Fight the Good Fight had a ferocity that stemmed from Moore's ability to sing while driving Triumph's heavy-hitting sound. His drumming wasn't about excessive flair, it was about precision and impact, giving the music its sense of urgency. "It's a balancing act," Moore once said. "You can't lose the rhythm just because you're lost in the song." 10. Peter Criss, Kiss. The cat makeup may have defined his image, but it was Beth that cemented Peter Criss in rock history. The song revealed a softer emotional side to Kiss, with Chris's voice delivering lyrics that felt disarmingly genuine. His drumming, on the other hand, was the backbone of the band's heavier material. From the pounding intro of Detroit Rock City to the relentless energy of Black Diamond, Criss played with a sense of showmanship without overplaying his hand. He could go loud, but he knew when to step back. "You don't hit to impress," he once said. "You hit to make it count." 9. Micky Dolenz, the Monkees. For a man who initially couldn't play the drums, Micky Dolenz came a long way. His charm lay not just in his on-screen persona, but in the energy he injected into the Monkees' music. His voice was a perfect fit for their bright, pop-driven sound, with hits like I'm a Believer and Pleasant Valley Sunday capturing the era's playful optimism. His drumming, though simple, was exactly what the songs needed, solid and unpretentious. "We didn't need complexity," Dolenz explained. "We needed joy."
Mary, Mary, where you gone to?
8. Dave Grohl, Nirvana, the Foo Fighters. Few musicians have made the leap from drummer to frontman as successfully as Dave Grohl. While Nirvana's legend owes much to his hard-hitting drumming, it's his post-Nirvana career that has cemented his place in rock history. With the Foo Fighters, Grohl's voice became just as powerful as his sticks, a mix of grit, melody, and raw emotion. But even when he stepped out from behind the kit, he never abandoned his rhythmic roots. "Drumming is where the soul of the song comes from," he said. "That's why I'll always carry it with me." 7. Roger Taylor, Queen. A band like Queen doesn't reach the heights it did without every member pulling more than their weight, and Roger Taylor understood that better than anyone. As a drummer, he navigated Queen's varied styles effortlessly, from rock anthems to operatic ballads to disco experiments. As a vocalist, he added an edge to their harmonies, his high-pitched voice soaring above Freddie Mercury's lead. On I'm in Love with My Car, he took center stage, proving that his talents extended far beyond backing vocals. "You can be a drummer and still have your voice heard," Taylor said, and he proved it time and again. 6. Ringo Starr, The Beatles. Often underrated, Ringo Starr brought a feel and character to the Beatles' music that was irreplaceable. He wasn't concerned with technical mastery. His goal was always to serve the song. His voice, much like his drumming, had a simplicity that disarmed listeners. Tracks like With a Little Help from My Friends weren't just fun detours, they were essential parts of the Beatles' charm. "I don't think about complexity," Starr admitted. "I think about what fits." That philosophy, paired with his unmistakable personality, left an indelible mark on music history.
I've been told when a boy kisses a girl, take a trip around the world. Hey, hey. Hey, hey.
5. Karen Carpenter, The Carpenters. The image of Karen Carpenter is often that of a singer, standing at the mic, delivering pristine vocals with heartbreaking warmth, but her identity as a musician began behind the drum kit, where she felt most at ease. Her drumming style was crisp, understated, and perfectly suited to the Carpenters' soft rock aesthetic. "When I played drums, I was in control," she once said. Her voice, though, was what touched millions. Velvety, melancholic, and timeless. Songs like Close to You and Rainy Days and Mondays carried a sense of vulnerability that only she could deliver. 4. Don Henley, Eagles. Don Henley's voice has the quality of a man who's seen too much and survived it all. There's a weight to the way he sings, especially on tracks like Desperado and The Last Resort, that comes from lived experience. As a drummer, Henley played with precision and restraint, creating the backbone for the Eagles' signature harmonies. "I wasn't the flashiest drummer," he once said, "but I understood the groove." His ability to weave his drumming and vocals together gave the Eagles a distinctive sound, part rock, part country, and entirely their own.
On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair.
3. Levon Helm, The Band. Levon Helm didn't just sing songs, he inhabited them. His voice, full of southern grit and warmth, gave the band their emotional center. On songs like The Weight and Up on Cripple Creek, he delivered lyrics as if he were telling a story passed down through generations. His drumming, meanwhile, was deceptively simple but masterfully effective, blending folk, rock and country into a cohesive groove. Helm once said, "I don't play drums, I play songs," and that philosophy defined his career. Every beat he played felt like part of a larger narrative.
I picked up my bag, I wasn't looking for a place to hide.
2. Don Brewer, Grand Funk Railroad. There's a driving intensity to Don Brewer's drumming that never lets up. As the powerhouse behind Grand Funk Railroad, he laid down thunderous beats that propelled tracks like We're an American Band and Closer to Home. His voice was just as forceful, giving the band a rough, bluesy edge. Brewer's ability to handle both roles simultaneously made him essential to the band's sound. "You don't think," Brewer said, "you feel it, and you let it out." That instinctual approach is what made his performances so compelling. At number 1, Phil Collins, Genesis and his solo career. Phil Collins didn't just redefine what it meant to be a singing drummer, he built an entire career on it. Whether he was navigating the progressive complexities of Genesis or belting out emotional pop hits as a solo artist, Collins made the impossible look effortless. His drumming was precise, inventive, and capable of carrying both sprawling epics and stripped-down ballads. And then there was his voice, full of longing, pain, and soul. On songs like In the Air Tonight and Against All Odds, he didn't just sing lyrics, he poured himself into them. Collins once said, "When you're behind the drums, you control everything. When you sing, you give a piece of yourself away." He did both, and in doing so, he became the definitive singing drummer of his generation.